Et voilà.
You are a lifesaver.
Or at least a dessert saver.
Thank you, thank you. I will gladly answer your questions.
Can you tell me your movements of last night?
Last night after dinner, I stayed in the kitchen until 12:15 a.m. Then I joined Jean and Hotaru in our quarters. Then all of us read quietly in our beds until we fell asleep.
A very studious staff. However, Monsieur Mori doesn't seem to have followed the same literary pursuit as the others. And these rum bottles, do they have something to do with his hangover?
I rather think that you didn't just read last night.
What makes you say that?
The empty rum bottles. Were their labels part of your reading last night?
My fault. I must have left them there before I put them in the bin. And these are straight from the bar. Our passengers must have drunk them.
I have my doubts. But why would she feel the need to lie?
That deck of cards. I imagine that you didn't spend all evening reading.
Yes, you're right. We played a little last night, but it wasn't long. Nobody really wanted to.
Knowing about the card game does not seem to further my investigation.
I spoke to Monsieur Mori. He seemed to be quite hungover. He even asked me to make him his day after tonic. He blurted out, "Freya always wins." Wins what? Looking around, it is clear you were gambling and drinking most of the night.
You don't understand. It's late when we're off duty, but we need to unwind. And now there's been a murder? Yes, I admit it. We went overboard last night. But please don't tell Mr. Book. It's against regulations. We could all be fired.
Mademoiselle, I realize your difficult jobs have been made more difficult. But as you say, there has been a murder. I must have the truth.
Of course. I'm so sorry.
It's not such a crime. I'll leave it there and check in with Monsieur Fauché.
Would you mind writing your address on this paper? I'm asking everyone on the train for addresses, in case I need to contact them once they leave the train in Paris.
I understand.
Yes, that's it. Mademoiselle Niersen is right-handed.
Do you smoke?
No, I never have.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers, Miss Nielsen.
You're welcome.
Haha! Golden moustache.
How are you?
It's better. Thank you.
Then may I ask you some questions? It will not take long.
Quickly, please. I have hungry passengers to feed.
Très bien. Can you tell me your movements last night?
Oh, nothing special. When I went off duty, I joined John and Freya in a compartment. I read for a short while, then went to bed early.
Reading? I'm not sure you have recovered enough to tell me the truth. Don't waste what little energy you have recovered to lie, Monsieur Mori.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Poirot. You're right. It obviously wasn't reading that made my head hurt like that. But if you told Monsieur Book, it could mean my job.
I will keep your secret, but I am investigating a murder. You must tell me the truth.
Thank you.
Please, Write your address on this paper.
My address? I don't see why.
I think I hear Monsieur Book approaching.
My address? Yes, of course.
Another right-handed person. Not surprising, most people are.
You are a heavy smoker.
My job. It is very stressful.
Would you happen to know who vapes on the train? A banana flavor?
Oh, yes. The smell disgusts me. What is wrong with the good tobacco?
I do not have time to answer that. Who is it?
I've only seen one person who vapes. It's Captain Arbuthnot.
Captain Arbuthnot, I see.
Your testimony was invaluable to me. Thank you. Take care, Monsieur Maury. My palate depends on your good health. Here is your key. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
About the little favor I asked of you.
Aha, but of course. I was able to get new allergy forms from guests who were in their compartments. Monsieur McQueen, Monsieur Masterman, Count and Countess Andreni, they are all right-handed. I also asked Princess Dragomirov, but she had her assistant, Madame Schmidt, sign for her. She is right-handed as well.
You have exceeded my expectations. Well done. Thank you, Monsieur Fauché. I'll come back to you if I have more questions.
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I have not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I'll report to you as soon as I can. Monsieur Fauché, may I disturb you for a moment?
Of course, how can I help?
So, Monsieur Fauché, are you trying to hide things from me? I know about your little party last night.
You are not a detective for nothing. I'm sorry, Monsieur Poirot.
Thank you, Monsieur Fauché. I'll come back to you if I have more questions. Captain Arbuthnot, I know that you are the only person on this train to smoke e-cigarettes. We found a vial of e-liquid at the crime scene. Will you talk to me about this, or should I pass on what I've learned to the police?
All right. Come in if you must.
I have just a few questions for you.
Very well. Let's hear them.
The young English lady, Mademoiselle Debenham, was at the Tocatlian Hotel. Perhaps you met her there?
We exchanged a few words. Fellow Brits abroad, that sort of thing.
What can you tell me about Mademoiselle Debenham?
Nothing whatsoever. We barely spoke.
The director of the Orient Express, Monsieur Bouc, thinks the assassin is a woman.
And that is enough to accuse her? She had nothing to do with this murder.
How can you be so certain?
The idea is absurd. Ratchet was a perfect stranger to her. She'd never seen him before.
Ah, did she tell you so?
Well, yes, maybe she did. She may have commented once upon his somewhat unpleasant appearance. If a woman is concerned, as you seem to think, to my mind, without any evidence, I can assure you that Miss Debenham could not possibly be implicated.
It is clear that the captain is defending Miss Debenham, a woman he supposedly doesn't know very well.
What were you doing last night around 1:15?
1:15? I believe I was still talking to that young American fellow, Mr. McQueen, the secretary of the man who was killed. We were in his compartment.
He was a friend or acquaintance of yours?
No, I never saw him before this journey. We'd hit it off at dinner, and the conversation continued into the early hours.
Until what time was that?
Until 1:45 or so. Then I retired to my room and went to sleep.
There is nothing you can recall last night that in any way struck you as suspicious?
It's nothing. A mere detail.
Allow me to be the judge.
Well, before returning to my room, I went to the lounge car to get a glass of water. When I was passing through the first-class corridor, I noticed that the door, which is just after your room, 201, was not quite closed, and the person who was inside peered out in a furtive sort of way. Then he closed the door quickly. I know there's nothing in that, but it was the furtive way it was done that caught my attention. Struck me as a bit odd.
I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Could you write down your address here, please?
My address? If you insist.
This man is right-handed.
Is this e-cigarette liquid yours?
What flavor is it?
Banana.
Well, that is awkward. That's my flavor of choice. But I have no idea what it was doing there, whatever.
Can you explain how it ended up there?
I have no idea. I never entered the man's room, Poirot. That's the truth.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
How is Mademoiselle Locke, Doctor?
Her vital signs are improving, but she is still unconscious.
I understand. Thank you for looking after her. Pardon this intrusion, Mademoiselle Olsen, but something you told me earlier confuses me.
Oh, please, come in.
How can you be sure Mademoiselle Debenham was in bed all night?
As I told you, I am a very light sleeper. The slightest noise wakes me up. If Fraulein Debenham had gotten out of her bed, I would have heard her. I got up this morning around 8 a.m. She was sleeping soundly.
That does not prove she's lying. She is lying, but why?
Are you certain you would have heard her?
Yes. Why are you asking?
I spoke to Mademoiselle Debenham, and she told me that she got up around 5 o'clock in the morning. She opened the door and looked down the corridor. It was then that she saw a woman in a red kimono. How do you explain that?
I think I must have been sleeping very soundly not to have heard it. Oh, but does that make me a suspect?
I am not accusing anyone, mademoiselle. Do not worry. I am just trying to determine what happened last night. Thank you for your testimony. Do you have something to add?
No, Mr. Poirot. I believe I have said everything I intended to.
I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. Et voilà. Great. Et voilà. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. Fantastic. Well done. I must admit I'm not right this time.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a
Great. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried.
Good job. Et voilà. Captain Arbuthnot is the only passenger to smoke an e-cigarette. Even if this liquid in Ratchet's room is a solid clue, he has an alibi. I cannot accuse him without any other proof. That's the right answer.
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I identified the person responsible for the bottle of liquid for the vape found at the crime scene.
So, this is our culprit? Do we hold him?
No, unfortunately, this bottle belongs to Captain Arbuthnot, but he has an alibi, confirmed by Monsieur McQueen for the time of the murder. There is no trace of the murder weapon on the train, as yet. The killer could have hidden it anywhere.
It must be somewhere.
Indeed, as you say, it must be somewhere. According to Dr. Constantine's report, the stab wounds were made by at least one right-handed and one left-handed person, and with different strength. For the moment, everyone I have checked is right-handed. It is impossible to draw any conclusions as yet. However, I still have a few people to interrogate, notably the Russian princess.
You still have many avenues to explore?
Indeed, the case is far from over, mon ami.
Monsieur Bouc, Monsieur Poirot.
Michel, calm down.
But it's Mrs. Hobart. She says she found the murder weapon in her room. She's very upset.
Let's go, Poirot.
I demand to be allowed to leave this train!
Madame, we are in the mountains, trapped in a snowdrift.
Stating the obvious, there is a murderer among us. He had the audacity to hide his weapon in my room.
Please, Madame Hubert, take a deep breath and tell us what occurred. Where did you find the knife?
I wanted to get a handkerchief from my purse, and when I opened it, I saw it! A bloody knife! Am I next to be murdered?
I very much doubt the murderer would give you his weapon.
What do you mean?
Madame, he would have used it.
Oh, I haven't!
Did you touch the knife?
Of course not. What a question.
I will take that as a no.
Is this knife the real murder weapon, or is it a red herring?
Mrs. Hubbard is distraught, Poirot. I should stay with her. Please go on without me.
I have every right to be distraught. Thank you, Mr. Book.
Is this knife the real murder weapon, or is it a red herring?
Dr. Constantine, we may have found our murder weapon. We need to make certain.
There is a pretty quick way to be sure. I have estimated the depth of the wounds. You can easily find the depth of each wound by comparing the width. There are 5 of them that I am not sure about. Test them, and then we will compare our results.
I will do as you say, Doctor.
This is wrong. I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. I do not think that's the right answer. Think. No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I must admit I'm not right this time. Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer. I do not think that's the That's the right answer.
What do you think, Doctor? Is this knife really the murder weapon?
There can be no doubt. You found the same depths as the estimate I made during the preliminary autopsy. I can assure you that you hold in your hands the weapon that took Ratchet's life.
Thank you. I feel way better now.
The rest gave you time to sleep off most of the effects of the drug.
I'm still a bit groggy.
That's understandable.
Are you able to continue your story now?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Where was I?
You were explaining how you returned to the Armstrong house to tell them their poor little child was dead.
Yes, that's it. I felt helpless. My part in the case was officially over, but I knew I couldn't let it go. Daisy deserved justice. Two days later, I returned to the Armstrong house to tell them Daisy would be released soon for burial. I was angry with myself that I couldn't bring them better news. I wasn't prepared for more tragedy. Hello, Miss Moreau. I'm here to see Colonel Armstrong.
Good morning, Detective. Colonel Armstrong is upstairs. He isn't well.
Good morning, Colonel Armstrong. Is your wife here?
Here? No, Sonia is not here. Always one step behind. She died of a miscarriage last night. My wife, Daisy, and our baby. My whole family is gone.
I'm so sorry. I came straight here this morning. I received word that you can arrange for Daisy to be returned to you for burial. I didn't know.
Well, then, now you don't have to come back. I can arrange for Daisy, my wife, and our unborn child to be buried all at once. Very efficient. Being a military man, I can appreciate efficiency.
I know how hard this must be for you.
No, you don't know. I don't want your sympathy. I want you to do your bloody job and catch the creature that did this.
I know you won't believe me, but I swear to you, I will find who did this. If it takes me to the far corners of the earth, I will find them.
Then go. Please go now. Go find them. Officer, let me grieve in peace. Go.
Nothing's been touched. It's as if Daisy might walk in at any moment and begin to play. The house that once held the laughter of a child now feels so empty. I'm not giving up. I'm a part of this case, or the case is a part of me. The Armstrongs have a taste for modern art.
All units, Hike is in the vicinity of the cabin where Daisy Armstrong was found, spotted a pickup truck drive through the barricade tape, and then head up the dirt road toward where the subject cabin is located. Any car nearby who can respond?
Unit 28, we can respond, but we're a ways away.
Dispatch, this is 11. I'm on it.
Copy that. 11, you good to go.
Copy that. Okay, there's the pickup. Let's see who ignored our barricade tape. 11 here. I'm at the cabin. Someone has broken in.
Are you requesting backup?
Not yet. I'm going to take a look around.
Copy that, 11.
An individual has entered a police-secured area. I have to stop him first. Somebody ignored the barricade tape. Footprints. Forensics had to go through this place with a fine-tooth comb. Duct tape to silence Daisy's screams. Damn it, Daisy. I will find whoever did this to you. A forensics evidence identification marker. A forensics evidence identification marker. He's not here. 3/8/92. Oh, when the poor deer was killed. That's where I found Fluffy. Daisy's special toy. I hope we returned him to the family.
Don't shoot, officer. I'm on your side.
Sir, keep your hands where I can see them.
Sure, no problem.
Sir, this is a crime scene. Who the hell are you?
I'm a reporter. Boston 6 News. You can get us on cable even here in the mountains.
They haven't heard of crime scene tape in a big city like Boston?
All right, that wasn't my best move. I got all excited. I didn't expect to find the place deserted. It was hard to resist.
You should have tried harder. I'm placing you under arrest.
You should be thanking me. Look what you apparently missed and I found.
We'll get to that, but you're going to answer some questions first.
I'm more used to asking questions, but fire away.
Who are you exactly?
I'm Michael Clark, journalist for Boston 6 News. Off camera, but someday I'm going to be anchor. You just wait.
Do you have a way to prove that?
My press card's in my truck.
What are you doing here? You should know a crime scene is off limits.
I'm investigating the Daisy Armstrong kidnapping like you.
Does the pickup parked in front of the cabin belong to you?
Yes, indeed, it's mine.
I'll check. Show me your hands. I'm gonna cuff you.
I'm sure we can work out a deal.
Put your hands in front of you.
Aren't you gonna read me my rights?
You have the right to remain silent. I really wish you'd exercise that one. Dispatch, this is 11. I intercepted a suspicious individual at the crime scene. I'll check to determine how badly he's compromised it. Then I'm bringing him in.
Copy that, Detective Locke.
The glove compartment is closed. The glove compartment is closed. Candid photos of the entire Armstrong family. A reporter just doing his job. Or something else? Clark's press card, and the phone number of the newspaper is on it. Ah, good. I can give them a call. Car keys in the sun visor. A classic hiding place. Well, at least on TV. Telephoto lens. Not so surprising for a journalist. That is a great detective job. Hi, I'm Detective Joanna Locke, Berkshire Police. I'd like to speak to an editor, please.
One moment, please. Hello, Detective Locke? This is Abby Wilson. I'm a senior editor. What can I do for you?
Does a man named Michael Clark work for you?
Yes, he does. Why?
When was the last time you heard from him?
Oh, it's been at least 7 or 8 months. That's not unusual.
He works in the field?
Yes, Michael Clark is what we call a stringer. He works as a freelancer, comes up with a story we can use, we pay him, and we don't hear from him again for several months.
What kind of stories does Mr. Clark write?
Mr. Clark is an investigative reporter, mostly crime stories, to tell you the truth. He comes up with some pretty macabre stuff some of the time. Is there a problem? Or a story?
Do you remember what the last case he investigated was?
It was a murder case. The victim was a millionaire named James Miller. He was called the Frozen Fish King of Gloucester, Massachusetts. His body turned up in one of his nets. Or, rather, most of it did.
Ah, well, thank you, Ms. Wilson. You've been a great help to me.
Pleasure. I hope he's not in trouble. He can be a little pushy, but he's a good guy overall. So what's he working on now, Detective? Are you sitting on a story?
Thanks again. I don't need to talk to the suspect right now. I don't need to talk to the suspect right now. Help yourself, Joanna. You earned it. I knew I could do it. I can always use safecrafting as a career move. There. Now let's see what secrets you're hiding. What the hell is that gas can doing here? The cap's been damaged, and some gasoline has leaked out. This bunker looks like it's as old as the cabin. Everything is falling apart. No, doesn't work. This blueprint. It looks like the bomb in the cabin. The kidnapper built the bomb here. Now what? I have to turn the power back on to open this magnetic door. No, doesn't. No, doesn't work.